same amount of wind in this, so this one might be feeling better. Yeah.
4:15, half a mile.
4:30. Yeah.
Would anyone rather see Paws of Fury? Paws of Fury instead?
Awesome.
Raise your hand. No. Larry and I are going to see Paws of Fury.
Sounds like a cartoon.
What? You don't use mine? Very small.
Hi guys, Chuck Hamilton here for another pilot showcase for the Warbirds Classics Alliance. Today we're here at Goshen, Indiana. We're a little bit of a rain delay, but it was a great time to capture a couple of great pilots here that's been around the Alliance for a while. And the bonus part is they're here with their wives, and they've always traveled with wives. I've never seen you guys pretty much apart at the fly-ins. On the right side of me we have John and Heather Seese, sorry, and Mark and Chris Johns. So okay, we were talking a little bit earlier. How'd you guys meet? Who goes first? Mark, go for it.
Owatonna. We were at an event in Owatonna at an electric event, Watts, and we were playing airplanes and found out we were from the same area and started hanging out.
Well, Watts over Owatonna is an electric event. So we all know John Seese is Mr. Electric.
Yeah, 100%.
Were you electric before you went? Because you do electric and gas.
I was a little of both.
Okay.
Yeah. I like the convenience of electric and I like the convenience of gas.
Right. Right.
It's-
Okay.
yeah.
And then you guys found out that you live close to each other, and you just socially started hanging out then?
Yeah, so we're about an hour south of where Mark and Chris live, and we met there, and then we realized that we were close, and then Mark was already a member at Fond du Lac, and I joined Fond du Lac shortly thereafter, and then just started traveling around. We went from tents to RVs to day events to long weekend events, and now we try to make most of the Warbird Classic events, and we still do day events here and there, local around Wisconsin. We got our wives involved, and they spot for us and help us load trailers.
Well, that's the cool part about it is that, in this hobby, a lot of the wives sit in the background and they do their things, or they take off somewhere in the city and find whatever's local. But you guys are always here. Chris, you probably work more than the rest of everybody. When you're not around, I figure you're in your trailer working.
I actually am.
Good on you. So somebody's got to pay the bills, right?
That's right.
So, but these guys have traveled all together, and they've always, and it's kind of neat. And when on the aircraft they fly, they do some B-17 formation flights. I'm sorry, B-25 formation flights. Those are electric, but you have gas zero. You've got electric zero. So when I met you, John, I think you just finished your Stuka, and that's pretty much a stock Ciroli Stuka that you built and converted to electric. Talk about your process. You thought what your goals you wanted to do on that.
Yeah, so when I got back into the hobby, it was I'd started getting back, and it was Horizon box planes were super easy electric, and when I started getting bigger and bigger, it was the decision of go gas or keep going with electric, and I'm a techie guy, so I like the technology of electric and being able to look at data and all that. So when I built my Stuka, it was, I was committed to going electric, and I think, once you get the hang of figuring out power to weight and batteries and things like that, once you find the setups, they're pretty easy to convert to other planes. So all the top flight ones I use the same setup, 12 cells, E-Flight 360, Castle 160 speed controller, and most of the top flight lineup, all the 87-inch stuff is all very similar, So once you kind of get figure out, I always start with props. I'm a super scale guy, so I always try to figure out how big a prop I need to get it to look right, and then I go backwards from there. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So do you spend any extra special time lightening them up, or any special consideration? I mean, obviously with the gas side thing, we have live vibration.
Yep.
tears things apart. Do you start removing content or pattern or on the wood when you start doing
I
these
haven't
things?
yet, but I've been spending a lot of time talking to other builders and talking about weight and how much weight factors in, especially with electric. You can lose a pound or two or more in the construction. So I've really just built off plans, strictly followed the plans to a T. But I think on a few of my next builds, I really want to start to consider how much I can maybe lose or shave down some of the weight.
Do you have any CAD experience or where you could redraw your plans or whatever?
Okay. Yeah, I've used some AutoCAD in the past. So yeah, I think there's definitely things that you could. 'Cause you're right. I mean, there's no vibration, which is great for me. I can do all my detail work. I don't have to worry about it falling off. I can do full interiors. I can do all the fiddly stuff that I like to do and not worry about it, falling off for the most part.
When I did my Dauntless, and I spent hundreds of hours in the cockpit, right? After the first thing I did was look in the cockpit. Is it all there? And it was all there, and so far it's still been. So, and you've got into glassing as well. Glassing, priming the traditional
building,
which obviously that adds weight as well. But you're flying just as long as the rest of us, gas guys. I'll put it that way, right?
Yeah, I mean, and it's been great because when we go to the Warbird Classic events, I mean, you fly with a lot of the same people. They know when we're up, they know when we're electric, so they're really cognizant of when we need to come down and things like that. So it really works good to intermingle with the gas guys, and for the most part, yeah. I mean, our flight times would be great if they were just a little bit longer if we needed it, if there was an emergency. But for the most part, we're up and down with plenty of time, and we leave a cushion. I don't run my batteries so low that
you and I talk about you really take care of monitoring your batteries.
Yeah, I've been doing gas, big stuff for 5 years now. I think I've had one battery puff on me, and it was a battery that I knew I'd probably have a million flights on it. Yeah.
Now, when you're in your shop and you're doing stuff, is Heather there with you?
No. So our kind of routine is we don't have kids, so during the week it's all work. Yeah. I have lots of kids. Sunday's my shop day, so Heather does her thing on Sunday. Saturday we usually do whatever we need to do together, and Sunday I have a shop day, and she does whatever she needs to do, and I'll try to cram most of my stuff in there. And a few nights during the week if I need to get stuff done, but it's kind of our schedule, and it works.
We'll talk over here with Mark, and Mark, you switch back and forth between gas and electric frequently. I'm looking here at 5 of your aircraft right here, and they're all combinations of everything.
Right.
Talk to Andy's viewers about what you like best about the gas and what you like best on the electric, and how it affects not only the common wear-to-wear, day-to-day wear and tear, but also something that's not talked about, and I know a little bit about the flight performance between the two, because you are now flying a new gas twin, but you also fly electric twin.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about those things.
So the twins, I always believe that it should be electric because they're going to pull the same, and it's going to feel easier to fly. So now the latest twin I have, it's an old twin that Dave Chu built years ago. It's got G38s in it, and it pulls different on each engine as you advance the throttle. Your half throttle, it's pulling different than it does at full throttle. And it
Now on your electric V25, is it different? Is it pretty much a
totally
linear?
linear.
Totally linear.
Yeah, with the electrics, it's totally linear. It never
Changes on you.
It never changes. It's always constant. And it's not something you have to even think about when you fly with a twin. With a gas, it's always in the back of your mind of, one's pulling more or one's sagging,
Or if you lose an engine.
or if you lose an engine. Yes.
Hey, I've seen an electric big airplane lose a dead stick electric airplane. I was there. I was like, hey, that's not supposed to happen, but it does happen. There's mechanical items. Once they're in the air, can you feel basically you're fighting opposite torques on those combustion engines?
Yeah.
How is that in electric? Is it just gone?
Yeah, it's totally gone. Yes.
Fantastic.
So on the multi-engine with the electric, there is no pull left, right, retrimming in the flight. It's once you trim it, you fly it the rest of the
So flying your gas, obviously your gas twin, we're on a twin topic. You're trim changing probably from takeoff
Yes.
to flight and landing, and
Yeah.
that's a whole flight mode condition we could talk about if you really get into high end side, something like Johnny smiling over here. But on your electric B25, once your trim's set after initial flight, it's
Never
the
touch it.
same all the way through
Yep.
flight. Never heard
Never
that before.
touch
That's a really good point. So you have a gas zero, you have a gas Beach 18, electric B25, a radial, three-cylinder radial on the Oscar,
Oscar,
which I'm really starting to like the four-stroke. I'm probably switching to four-stroke at some point. Everything's going to four-stroke. And your Newport 28 is electric.
It's electric with belt reduction.
Belt reduction.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I did not know that. That's cool. So, all right, out of your fleet, right here, if you had to pick one plane to fly, what do you fly? Just one.
The zero
Chris,
zero.
Chris lets you have one airplane. Everything else, because it's turning into a new kitchen.
Yeah.
All right?
The zero
I like that idea.
The zero.
is my go-to just because I can fly that in 25 mile an hour wind and not care. It's always trusty. It's a G62. It always runs. It's just reliable. I believe in it. I trust it. It's easy to fly because it's zero.
Okay.
I don't know.
Cool. Now, when you acquire the Beach 18, which you're probably the fourth owner probably
Yeah,
on that
fourth
flight,
owner.
did you think about converting to electric?
Um,
He paused. He hesitated. See?
So I talked to Dave Chu at this event, and he said he built it 24 years
Right.
ago. Guys have been having success with it for 24 years.
Yeah.
Why do I not give it a try?
Right.
That's my feeling, and I've had success so far. I'm gonna keep it until I feel that it's unsafe. And right now I don't feel unsafe with it, so I'm gonna continue to fly it with the gas ones.
Awesome. Very cool. Very, very cool. Your B25, what's it weigh? Do you know?
24, 25.
What's yours weigh?
27.
27. Now is yours fiberglass as well?
Yep.
And then it's
So-
just covered like aluminum foil type of material?
So my B25 had Quadra 35s in it.
Oh, it did.
I
Okay.
had 22 and a half fights and I spun it in. I lost a motor and spun it in.
If you saw the pictures, you
yeah.
would have never thought he'd put it back
I
together.
spent
Well, that,
1,000
you know,
hours
that-
putting it
and
back
that's a-
together.
That's the key point here is you guys can build them and fix them,
Yep.
and you know that's the fun part about the hobby as well.
And that's my
You're just
favorite
not pulling
part
things out of the
is-
box, right?
I can't build from a kit. I would much rather repair somebody else's something or
Well, stick around because once
Yeah.
I don't fix airplanes.
And
I build them.
I
I'm
love
designing my own
fixing
platform, but I won't fix them. Once I do that, I'm over. So come see me or come find my trash can sometime. That's usually Andy's spot, though. Usually airplane goes trash can and you frighten Andy off. But well, awesome, guys. This has been a great chat with you guys. Thank you very much for doing this for us. This is something Andy and I are trying to build up and do more of. We hope the rain lets up soon here and we get back to sunshine and flying. But thanks again, guys. Appreciate you having here, and
Absolutely.
we'll see you guys next time. Peace.